Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is another card which reminds us that where we put our focus in life has a great deal to do with the quality of our lives and how well they work for us. What are you going to choose to focus on? General. In most tarot decks, most depictions on each card give solid guides toward interpretation. For this card, this is more than usually the case. Most often, a sad or downcast figure is shown, with 5 cups. 3 are spilled, and 2 remain upright and whole. The implication is extremely clear. Are you going to cry over spilt milk, or are you going to focus on the milk you still have, and get on with things? The point is, watch where you put your focus and make sure that the focus is for your highest good. Work. If you are trying to find work when this card comes up, try not to get too worked up if there are delays. Things with applications, resumes, and such, will likely be moving slowly. Be proactive but not pushy. When this card appears, and the question is about work, it can be a signifier that you are actually in the wrong job. Consider what you would like to be doing. Take steps toward making it happen. Love. A love relationship you are in may have just ended or may be about to start the process of ending. You must realize that all is not lost. You are probably not yet ready to move into a new relationship. Give yourself some time and space, then get back out there. There will come a day when you realize that the reason this relationship ended was to get you to the place you really want to be, which is in a relationship that really works for you, and works well. Finances. Worrying too much about money can actually have the opposite effect of what you are trying to make happen, and that's having a better flow of financial prosperity, that is, a flow in your favor. The way to get a handle on this worry is actually to be generous. You're probably not as bad off as you think. Give something away, or make a small donation to a cause that you believe in. Health. It's critical that you keep a positive attitude. If you just can't get over what someone did to you or what happened in your past, now is the time to get help in resolving these issues, before you cause yourself serious damage/pain by dwelling on your past. The past is gone. Focus on the present, and the future. Spirituality. It's important now to give some thought to forgiveness. You don't forgive others for their sake, or because they deserve it, necessarily. You do it for your own sake, because holding on to anger and pain is toxic and bad for you. Not only that, while you're busy being angry and full of pain, the person you're angry with is often somewhere having a good time. So, now is the time to let go. Tarot history. The history of the tarot is shrouded in mystery. Very little in the way of concrete information is known about its origin, although many things have been written about it. We will probably never know the truth, as fact and fiction seem to be irrevocably mixed nowadays. The tarot originated in northern Italy in the early 15th century, sometime between 1420 to 1440. Despite the fact that it is often attributed to originating from China, Egypt, India, or Morocco, to name just a few, there is absolutely no evidence that this is the case. Nor, as is often quoted, is there any evidence whatsoever that the tarot was brought to Europe by the Romanis. The name tarot is often attributed to being Egyptian, Hebrew, or Latin. This is not the case. The earliest names are all Italian in origin. The cards were originally called carte de triomphe. Around 1530 the word Cherokee began to be used to differentiate them from a new game of triumphs that was in vogue at the time. The etymology of this new word is unknown. The German variant was known as Tarak and the French Tarot. The symbolism for the tarot is drawn from the culture of medieval and Renaissance Europe. The tarot subjects are distinctive to European Christendom. The symbolism does not come from Egypt or any of the other exotic locales often mentioned. It is often stated that modern-day playing cards evolved from the tarot. This is not the case. Modern-day playing cards came to Europe courtesy of Islam. They were an adaptation of the Islamic Mamluk cards. They appeared quite suddenly in many different European cities between 1375 and 1378. These early cards had suits of cups, swords, coins, and polo sticks, and courts consisting of a king and two male underlings. The tarot adds the Fool, the trumps, and a set of queens to this system. Sometime before 1480, the French introduced cards with the now familiar suits of hearts, clubs, spades, and diamonds. The Joker is not original to either the early form of modern-day cards, or to the tarot, but instead originated in the USA around 1857 and was used as a wild card in poker as well as the highest trump in euchre. It is also often stated that the Catholic and Protestant churches outlawed the tarot and all who used it in an effort to stamp out so-called heretical teachings. This is not the case. The Inquisition documented what the Church considered as evidence of heresy in great detail. The tarot was not even mentioned. After the Reformation, less controversial images for the Pope and Papess were substituted by card makers as the Church had objected to the original images. It is often said that the tarot was not used as a divination tool prior to 1781. The tarot was used as early as the 16th century to compose poems describing personality characteristics. There is historical evidence that in one case at least these verses were presented as relating to the person's fate. In other words, divination. Divinatory meanings were assigned to the tarot in Bologna in the early 1700s, and this is the first unambiguous evidence of tarot divination. Ordinary playing cards were connected with divination as early as 1487. It is not unreasonable to think that the tarot was also. The tarot has often been attributed with being a pillar of Western esoterica occultism. This is certainly not the case. The first occult writers to discuss the tarot were Court de Gobelin and the Comte de Melot in 1781. The tarot was not mentioned in any occult work for the first 350 years of its existence. The terms Major Arcana, Minor Arcana, High Priestess, and Hierophant are anachronistic when referring to the older tarot decks. The historically appropriate terms are the trumps and the fool, the suit cards, Papess or Popess, and Pope. Likewise, pentacles and wands are relatively recent substitutions for the traditional suit names of coins and staves or batons. The original Italian titles of the cards were in some cases different from the later French titles that have become familiar to us through the Tarot de Marseille and its descendants. Also, the ordering of the trumps varied considerably in Italy where the cards originated. It is not known which ordering is the earliest one. Even the number of cards in the deck varied a great deal. So care should be used in making statements about the original meaning of the cards based on the familiar titles and ordering. Many believe that the Waite-Smith Tarot is the original, standard, or most authentic tarot deck in existence. This is absolutely untrue. The Waitesmith/Rider-Waite deck was created in 1909, not even 100 years ago, making it a relative newcomer in the almost 600-year history of the tarot. There is actually no definitive version of the tarot.